Is the universe simulated? Welcome back to the Daily Dean. There are tons of videos that I've watched personally that explain the whole simulation reality argument way better than I could. But I'm going to be adding something that I think is of use. I'll summarize some points that always come up in a simulation argument. One, you have to assume that, consciousness can be simulated. So think about how, you can't really measure somebody's consciousness nor accurately replicate it using our modern technology. So you have to assume that there's something physically, possible or, realistic enough, and assume that it's possible to simulate your consciousness, which you are sure you are existing. You can confirm its existence in order to say, okay, in order for reality to be simulated, we would need to simulate our consciousnesses, and that's one of the things you have to assume is true. Now, once again, I'll put links to videos in the description below about the simulation argument, and other people's videos who, once again, do it way better than I can. But that's one of the main parts, and also that you don't really need to simulate everything in the universe all at the same time at once. All you really need to simulate is the bare minimum of what somebody is observing. So say, look around your room right now. Do you see a chair, or a wall, or a bed, or your own phone? How do you know there's stuff inside that phone, or inside that wall, or inside that chair? For all you know, anytime you pick up your phone, it created that mass at the very instant you touched it or recognized it, and started interacting with it. So if you cut open a chair, all a simulation really has to do is simulate the outermost layers that you're looking at until you personally try and discover, is this a real chair or not? By pushing it, by cutting it open, by lifting it up, by tossing it against the wall. That will help the simulation simulate everything at once without necessarily using up all its resources. So, going off into that, this is my own thing that I came up with while falling asleep. So imagine this. You have your own memories and feelings that you can kind of remember, or the sensation of a memory. So take a hug, or a handshake, or any other kind of interaction that you have with somebody. You can feel in your memories what a hug, what a handshake, whatever feels like, but you can't necessarily replicate it one for one. But you can sure get it very, very, very close, right? Just by using your memory, maybe closing your eyes and imagining, oh, here I'm sitting down on my pillow right now. If I hugged my pillow and then I imagined I was hugging something else, that's one step closer to realistically replicating the sensation of a hug. Now, if you keep going forward and forward and forward into that, at what point can you no longer discern the memory of your hug mixing with the actual sensation or fabricated sensation of a hug? Because at some point, technology will keep advancing till hug technology and handshake technology, or whatever kind of metaphor you're using, or not metaphor, situation you're using. Technology will eventually reach a point where you can no longer tell, is this an actual sensation I'm feeling personally, or some simulated, series of brain activated pathways that replicates the same things that that my brain does when I feel a hug, or a handshake, or a sensation, or a perception. So, that was my addition to the simulation argument, because if you can continuously increase the realism in, oh, this is a good example as well, VR, if you can continually increase the hyper-realism in VR, at what point will you no longer be able to discern whether that's just a headset or not? So, because our memories, another point, our memories can replicate the actual sensation that we feel from that time. So if you can do it abstractly and with your own memory, is it possible to do that with technology, using our tools at our disposal to replicate what a memory feels like? So if that's true, it's pretty likely we're living in a simulation, along with the other things. If you think that's interesting, totally check out the videos I'll be putting in the description below. But otherwise, that's pretty much it, and I hope you have a wonderful week and learnt something. Goodbye!